Hi Merfriends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so happy to show you Mermaid Nereid tails. I'm gonna make a review about this amazing tail that I have here, and also, you know, my experience about the brand. So let's get started. So the owner's name is Sylvia and the brand comes from Spain, and the tails are made to order, custom made to your measurements, and you only need to provide like 4 measurements, so it's not as complicated as providing measurements for instance, a silicone tail. So yeah, it's way easier. The fabric is made of recycled polyester, and the sewing process is all made by an expert using professional sewing machines. So Celia is not the seamstress, but she's the designer, she's the brain behind the beautiful tails. There are no vinyl pieces inside the caudal of the mermaid tails, but they're big enough to accommodate a wide range of monofins, which is really interesting. Now let's jump into production time. There's no specific production time announced on her website, and I really think it's because it depends on the number of clients she has at the moment you order the tail. I personally waited around 3 to 4 months to receive my tails, because I've ordered around the end of the year during Christmas time. I think like 1 month before Christmas time. So I think that's why it took kind of a moment, and sometimes it can go really faster. So please don't pick one of her tail if you want the tail for a specific event, a specific moment that you expect to receive the tail, because you're not really sure about what time you're gonna receive it. I definitely think she should be a bit more precise about the average time it takes to receive a tail, because I think it's something that it's missing on her website. That's why I only give her only a 7 out of 10 for this section, because if you balance all the things, it's quite fast to receive a tail anyway. Price range. So the price range starts at 306 euros with the sequin tail, inspired of course by Ariel, which is her more simple design, and goes up to 478 euros for her more complex designs. These pricing don't include taxes and shipping, so you will have to buy them by the end of the purchase. So I give her a 9 out of 10 for this part, because I think that her prices are quite affordable for the amount of fins. You'll see it on my tail, but the amount of fins you get, and also all the several other brands we have in the market at the moment. I think the market is quite exploding with the pricing. So I think that for one really independent person as she is, it's not really expensive at all. So let's jump into aesthetic and design. So this is always my favorite part, of course. So on her website you will only find under 15, I would say, at the time I'm recording this video, I think it's around 12 to 15 designs only. So it's quite a small range, but to me it's like being in a good restaurant, you know when you are in the good restaurant, you don't have like 10 pages of different meals, but what you have is good quality, and it's something I really like and I appreciate with this brand. So to me, the aesthetic and design part, I will give her a 10 out of 10, because honestly the designs are amazing. In real life they look 10 times better than in pictures. I will show you in this video. I recorded the clip with all the tail that you can see. So my tail is the Nayade tail, and it's perfectly my universe. If you know me for quite a moment, you know that I love water lilies and all these kind of flowers, and to me it's like a water lily in real life. The colors are amazing. I can just take the tail to show you. So to me the best part of this tail is on the fluke. So there is I think you can see it here. So there is really an iridescent effect. So when you are inside of the water, it's incredible. Like it looks like, you know, like a shell, like pearlescent. It's really pearlescent, this area. And also here you can see, and I think the design is just incredible, and all the little stripes are making it look three-dimensional. So yeah, it's perfect to me. Also we have a lot of fins. So even on the side of the fluke you have these areas here that have been added. And I will take the tail. So this is the back of the tail. So here you have the eel fins. And one particularity that I've never seen on another tail, it's that all the fins are filled with a vinyl. Yeah, I think it's a vinyl. So that's why they always stay in the good position. They never fold, so they always, you know, stand like fins. And in the dorsal is really special as well. So this dorsal goes all the way from the heels to the top of the tail, so it's a really big dorsal. And inside there is a foam, so it's all foamy. It's, you know, I think you can see it. So it's thicker than in the fins, but it's, in a way, it's kind of lighter. So when you swim, this little guy here stays really up. And I've never seen that in another fabric tail, so it's just genius. So you can see this is where starts the big dorsal. So you have a faded waist, and I usually don't like faded waist because I think that it's so easy to not match your actual tail skin, but I was so lucky with this one because this is the actual match of my skin, because most of the time the skin is in cold tones and I am a warm tone, and this is a warm tone, so I'm so happy. So there you can see the big dorsal, which always stays up, and she has been cut in 2 parts, and you have the second, well, I think, yeah, maybe 3 parts, and you have all this. And in the front you also have several pairs here. So you have the tiny little fins on top. The other ones, so the second ones are these ones, and then you have very big hip fins, and in front you have the pectoral fins that are so pretty, like they match so well. So I think I show you all of the fins. And I think you will see the tail better in the little videos I'm gonna add in this one. So now let's jump into Monofin compatibility. So as I said before in this video, the fluke is kind of big, and so it can accommodate to a lot of monofins. The ones I'm using with this tail is the Lucia fish fin, but the only problem is that I would need some extra fabric with the fin I'm using. I would need like this, like 2-3 centimeters more of fabric to make the fluke adhere perfectly on the monofin. And now when I use it, it kind of folds it folds a bit of the fabric in this area like that. But I don't really care, because I realized then when I was filming videos with this tail, when I swim, the fabric kind of adapts to the monofin and you don't really see the little folding area. But at the beginning she created her design more based on the Mahina monofin. So if you have a Mahina, you will be perfectly fine with this brand. And all the smaller monofins can work, so has the Mermaid Linden monofin. Maybe, I'm not sure about the Luna, but I think all monofins that are quite with a V shape can work perfectly. And I think if you have really smaller monofins, you can also cut out a vinyl yourself, maybe even just one coat, and you put it inside and you use with a smaller monofin. And I also think that the Fantasy Fin 3 can really work with it, because it's really open and long as the designs that Mermaid Nereid has. So for this section, monofin compatibility, I will give her a 9 out of 10, because though it's not perfectly perfect with every monofin, you can use a wide range, you can use really small ones, you can also use bigger ones with that are quite open. You can also maybe cut a bit a bad monofin you have and use it and just have the perfect shape. So yeah, I think she really thought about it before doing her designs, and I think she did it really well. Let's jump into quality and care. So I think the fabric overall has a good quality. This is a different fabric than I've seen in other brands. For me, it's really a brand new one, literally, because it's so yeah, it's a recycled polyester. It's a bit, how would I say that? It's stronger and thicker than the usual spandex we have in other brands. I would say it's thicker than a Magic Tail for sure, than a Fin Fun for sure as well. And it's kind of, yeah, it's really hard to describe. But this is stretchy, but not four-way stretch as we have in some big brands like Mertailor or Finfolk. It's less stretchy, but it's stretchy anyways, and I really appreciate that, because if you give the good measurements, it really fits you, and it's not like wobbly, it's not like, yeah, it's good, it really looks good. And also this type of fabric dries way faster than others, so the tail is actually quite heavy with all of the vinyls that have been added, but the fabric dries faster than scuba knit. So this is something you have to keep in mind. Also, don't be like me, because when I used the tail, I was sitting by the pool with a friend, and I was like, oh, look how big these fins are. I was sitting and I was like, look at this fin, and then I just made a hole. So I can show you, I still didn't repair it, but it's not something totally awful, but it's just on this way. I think if it can focus, please focus, yeah. So this is this area, you can see a bit of white here. I'm gonna just sew it back by hand, it's small. I think I have the same, oh no, this was this side. I have the same on the other side, you can see it's just there. A bit white in there, if you can focus on in my hand, just there. So I was a bit too crazy, like, hey, look at that, it's so cute. Like, calm down before showing your tail to your friends, please, and it won't happen to you. And also I received with my tail a little care sheet. This is the only thing why I'm gonna only give this section a 9 out of 10, because this is all in Spanish, and although I managed to understand most of the text, I had a little question, so I asked my Spanish friend and she helped me. Of course, I know today we have Google Translate and all that shit, but I think that receiving the same card in English would be just perfect, and I think all of the details are really well explained. The way to clean it, so you can machine wash it in a little bag, and otherwise they are all the same explanation. I think you can find on other brands. How to use the Monofin, and etc. etc. Now let's jump into the final point, the customer service. So the communication was really easy with Sylvia. I remember that we communicated a lot through WhatsApp, and it was so easy. When I had a lot of questions like, is the tail ready? How long do you think it's gonna take? Also, did you receive well in my measurements, and etc. etc. She was really there. She always answered me quite quickly, and everything was totally flawless. And then when I was like, oh, but it takes time, huh? And she explained me all of the stuff, like, yeah, but now the guy is sewing the tail, and now we are in this period of time of the year that everybody's busy, but your tail is next, and all went really, really well. Also, there were no hidden fees, like she was like, okay, I need this money to send it to you. So everything was really clear. So thanks again, Sylvia, and I think I'm gonna order more from you maybe in the future. So that's why I'm gonna give a 10 out of 10 to this section. So final result is 9 out of 10. I think it's one of the best marks I gave to a brand. So I hope you're happy, Sylvia, even if I'm just a little customer in the big world of customers. But I really appreciate this brand a lot. I think her designs are really original. You don't see a lot of stuff like she does in other brands. And also the big plus to me is the feeling of the fins with vinyl and foam. And even though it makes the tail really heavier, like the fabric itself is really heavier because of the vinyls and the foam, I think the visual result when you're in the water is incredible, like really breathtaking. And I think you saw this tail in one of my previous videos from a few months ago, because I used this tail in a Swiss Mermaid meeting that I did with my friends. I think it's one of my record-breaking videos on my channel, so you can find it on my channel. But I didn't make the review, and the first review I made, I had a sound problem, so that's why I'm doing it all over again today for you. But I think it was kind of interesting if you don't know the brand already. But trust me, this is a really good brand, and I think it's important to support really small creators like her, and also like Kate from the Mermaid's Tale UK. So you know, that's why I take time to make this video, to show you that there are different brands, that the big ones we all know. So I hope you enjoyed this moment with me, and I see you very soon. And I'm gonna also put a swimming video soon as well with this tail. And I see you next time. Bye bye!